Hello! Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Alex. I'm the managing editor of What's on Stage.
Hi everybody, I'm Tom. I'm deputy editor of What's on Stage.
Hey, I'm Tan and I'm the social media coordinator at What's on Stage.
And we, from our various counties across the country, have come together to discuss the Olivier Awards nominations, which happened a matter of hours ago, although it'll be a day ago by the time that this goes out. And we have all come with two themes or topics that we each wanted to talk about based on the shortlist that was revealed. I'm going to let Tom kick things off. Tom, what are you going to talk about first?
Well, my one is just simply some special mentions in the acting categories. You know, the reason why we all do this, we are fans of the theatre. So I thought it would be nice for us to share, in the past 12 months, the performances that have really sort of moved us personally and stayed with us and now have been recognised with Olivier Award nominations. All the ones that I've mentioned, of course, I have seen myself on stage, with one exception that I'm very sorry I didn't get to see. And when her name was read out during the nominations, my heart did skip a beat, and that's Hayden Gwynn. I didn't get to see her in When Winston Went to War with the Wireless at Donmar Warehouse, and in hindsight, of course, I would have loved to do that. Looking at her sort of legacy and her contributions to theatre on the whole, it was lovely to see Hayden get a nom there.
It felt as though it was like, as much as a nomination for an amazing performance, it was a recognition of her amazing talents over the years. Like, I remember her doing Stephen Sondheim's Old Friends when she sort of stepped in for Hand of One and Ladies Who Lunch, and it was just like, spellbinding. In
terms of sort of the musical noms, there's some musicals that seem to cover every category. Like if we look at Sunset Boulevard, of course, I'm a Scherzinger boy. I love my Scherzinger. But also, I
don't think you've had a single junket where you haven't got a selfie with Nicole Scherzinger this entire award season.
I'm going for a record. I'll see you on the 14th of April, Nicole. But so thrilled for Tom Francis for Best Actor in a Musical. He's been out there every night, can rain or shine, battling through the Strand, in his live video sequences with the title song. Thrilled that he's got a nom. And of course, then the supporting actor, supporting actress, we've got Grace Hodgett-Young, What's on Stage Award winner, and David Thaxton.
You've seen Sunset, haven't you, Tan?
Yeah, I saw Sunset. It was incredible to be front row with Nicole Scherzinger, just making eye contact with you. So it's really nice, like you say, that the four of them have all been recognised. Like, I had no idea the Act 2 opener even happened when I went in. I don't know how, being a social media coordinator, I missed it, but it was quite early on, so I'm not gonna blame myself for not seeing those TikToks yet. But it was like, whoa, where has Tom Francis been hiding? Like, it's insane what he was doing.
Also in Operation Mincemeat, same thing. All four categories are represented there. Natasha Hodgson for Best Actress, David Cumming, Best Actor, Zoe Roberts, Best Supporting Actress, Jack Malone, Best Supporting Actor. That one has really been a fan favourite, hasn't it? And it's great to see that the Olivier voters are feeling the love as well. Fresh in my mind is Guys and Dolls, because at the time of recording, I literally just watched it last night. And thrilled, Daniel Mays, I was sure he was going to get a nom. Thrilled for Cedric Neal in the Best Supporting category. And perhaps most interestingly, Marisha Wallace, who I don't know if this is a record of first person that's been nominated for the Olivier Award that's trapped inside a Big Brother house. I don't know if that's ever happened before. I'm surely not. And of course, she's not going to find out that she's been nominated now until she actually leaves. You saw that one as well, Tan, didn't you?
Yeah, I love Guys and Dolls. Absolutely.
I think every time I saw Sit Down, I weeped, and I was like, so I went with my wife yesterday. I was just bawling my eyes out of that number, and she turned around, she's like, "Why is that doing?" And I'm like, "I have no idea why I'm crying. It's just so good."
It's the uplifting part.
Yeah.
And then next to Normal, of course, we've got Eleanor Worthington Cox, who, a second nomination after winning for as one of the original Matildas way back when, and she's still so young, and she's got another nomination. It's crazy.
We won't
And then,
focus
of
on
course,
how
Casey
young
and
she
Jack
is.
Wolf as well.
Yeah, let's not make ourselves feel bad about how young she is, otherwise.
And then on the other side of the coin, I'm going to talk a little bit about solo performances later, but you know, for the most grueling and harrowing and yeah, you know, so well executed, A Little Life, you know, great to see James Norton as well as Luke Thompson and Zubin Vala all get nominations in their respective categories there. Yeah, that was a toughie. That was a tough watch. That was a go home straight away and watch some Disney Plus watch. But so well deserved. I would love to give a little shout out to Amy Trigg as well. I think over the past 12 months, she really stands out to me as comic relief. But it was more than that. There was more nuances to the character than just, hey, I'm here to do the wisecracks. So I'm thrilled for her as well. These aren't my predictions of winners or anything like that. You know, it's just the ones that have, you know, that have touched my heart over the past 12 months.
There's so few spaces for a whole year of theatre, so it's a shame really that you see so many performances, and some people really do stand out, Tom, like you were saying, Amy Trigg and Nicole Scherzinger's not going to be forgotten in a hurry, but then there's other people have their different Nicole Scherzingers and Amy Triggs, so some people that were missed maybe or missed out this time. Obviously a lot of chatter about Hadestown being classed as a revival for a start, but none of the cast getting nods for Hadestown. Obviously Grace is having a killer year with Sunset Boulevard, so it would have been nice to see some of that cast maybe of Hadestown and also some of the creative team recognised for this production, because it definitely feels like it's bigger this time around, and like more people are behind it and more people are excited by it and enticed by it. Like every time a new photo is released, or that trailer that was released earlier this week is just, whoa, like this show is definitely grown, maybe due to the star power in the US as well that has enticed fans in.
And as we say, there's only so many spaces, you know, these are all things that we'd love to have seen if there was like 8, 9, 10 spaces per category, you know, in an ideal world.
Yeah, and we've spoken about Guys and Dolls and Operation Mincemeat already, but Claire Marie Hall, Celine, both amazing parts of their respective shows. So, you know, to see castmates nominated rightfully, I bet there's massive celebrations in every theatre tonight for co-stars and stuff, but the show is really made from the people around the others as well, so it would have been lovely to see them. And Gabrielle Vick as Mrs. Doubtfire, those costume changes, like what a role to step into. Like there's so much expectation around that role, like it's big boots to fill, big dresses to fill, big wigs to fill.
He might have the most physically demanding role for a man in the West End at the moment. You know, he's on stage so often, the amount of costume changes that he has to do, and like even just vocally, all the different voices. I was exhausted just watching it, you know, that one time. And he's performing it 8 times a week, you know. Doubtfire deserves a bit of love.
Also, Guys and Dolls, like Nick Heitner, the director, hasn't been nominated, but other tech categories have, and obviously everything comes together through the production, and the direction is a massive part of it. I'm not sure if the other sides would work if the direction was off particularly. Another one being Kyle Ramar Freeman for A Strange Loop not getting an acting nod, but really lovely that A Strange Loop has been recognised for Best New Musical though. So glad there's that, but you just think about the person who was at the heart of it and the person who brought that story to life.
He was amazing in that, actually. He's just sort of...
Yeah.
And like, obviously, because he'd done it before, hadn't he? I think.
I think he'd taken over, didn't he?
Yeah, so then to do it on the stage like the Barbican, which is like huge compared to where he was doing it on Broadway. and still landing it perfectly is, you know, a huge role, especially with a show like that, because you need a strong central figure when it's so abstract and surreal. And there's so many deep themes going on.
Yeah, he's going into a whiz now. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's all right. He can just hang out on Broadway. Yeah.
Okay.
That's his therapy now.
Yeah.
Just enjoying himself.
To be fair, I think the Wiz is therapy for everyone, to be fair.
Yeah.
Actually, A Strange Loop is a very good point of departure, because one of the co-producers on A Strange Loop was the National Theatre, who have had a pretty amazing year. They actually put that right at the heart of the press release for the Olivier Awards nominations, that they received 15 nominations across their various productions, which is a huge tally, and I think a reflection on how amazing the last 12 months of programming and production have been at the National.
Yeah.
Obviously, we recognise that at the What's on Stage Awards by giving the Services to Theatre Award to Rufus Norris, who is coming towards the end of his tenure. But looking through some of these categories, it is incredible, like what the National have pulled off. I think the most telling was the fact that they've been nominated for 3 of the 4 Best New Play shows were produced on the National Theatre stages, which is amazing, and all one for each of their stages. So one of the plays was in the Dorfman, which is Beth Steele's Till the Stars Come Down. Then you've got The Motive and the Cue, which is by Jack Thorne, coming into the Littleton, and then on the Olivier stage was Dear England by James Graham. So like all very different plays, but all starting under the same roof and now being recognised. I think it's just showing how the National really is, like, you know, the producing powerhouse, and the fact that all these shows have then, apart from Till the Stars Come Down for now, transferred into the West End, and loads of the other shows transferring into West End. So Hadestown, for example, started at the National and then transferred into the West End. So, you know, they really are forming kind of like a backbone of West End programming. Even we've got What People Places Things coming up later this year, that was announced this week. You know, it's Standing at Sky's Edge currently playing, Warhorse is going back out on tour. You know, all of these things that the National has helped shepherd along are really leaving a big mark with audiences across the country. To sort of dip perhaps into the snub shock territory, I was surprised that The Witches, the musical, didn't get anything. Especially when there were only 4 new musicals in the new musical category, and sometimes there's 5. It got like overwhelming love and praise and adulation from like critics, and audiences were loving it, and it had some of the best comedy moments I've seen of any show. I don't know, maybe it just didn't work. I'm not sure. Like, maybe it didn't connect with the Olivier voters, or was just sort of self-contained, or who knows, it might have future life and then get nominated in 5 years' time for Best Musical Revival like Hadestown did. So
I wanted to just talk briefly about this emergence of the sort of mega solo show, you know, high-profile solo shows, and how this is now translated to Olivier Award nominations. You know, we've had Shirley Valentine starring Sheridan Smith, Andrew Scott starring in Vanya, and also Sarah Snook, who as of the time of recording, she's still going in the picture of Dorian Gray at the Theatre Royal Haymarket, and all 3 have landed 2 nominations each. 2 for Best Revival, Shirley Valentine and Vanya. 2 for Best Actress, Sarah Snook and Sheridan Smith, and then Andrew Scott for Best Actor. And Dorian Gray also has been nominated for Best Costumes. And it's interesting how, like, I wonder if this is sort of a sign of the times, and also how this will affect the future. You know, just putting on one man or one woman show, high profile star, especially if they have to do multiple roles. You know, that's like an acting masterclass. And will it inevitably, you know, constantly result in Olivier Award nominations? You know, it seemed to have worked this time. I'll be really interested to see if any of them come away with it, and how that will affect the trend going forward.
My reaction would be, watching sort of the picture of Dorian Gray, how the stagehands, like this 12 or 13 technicians who are running around. They're almost like puppeteers,
Yeah.
but like digital puppeteers. I think as much as it's her show surrounded by an ensemble of wordless puppeteers that are kind of making this world come to life. So I think that's kind of sits differently to something like Vanya, where you've taken a show for 8 people and you've just like put it into one, which that could, maybe there is an element of like, let's just show off how absolutely amazing Andrew Scott is at acting, and will we see other actors do that? Probably. Will they be good? Probably be amazing, because you see so much of his range. And so yeah, I'd maybe now that they are getting this recognition, more will do it, because they're like, oh, this is going to get me some press.
Yeah. I mean, it's a daunting feat, isn't it, to be out there on your own, even if you do have all the stagehands with you. Must be incredibly daunting. I think what I found interesting with Dorian Gray is obviously the use of technology, and that I've never seen it in live theatre, live actor acting with sometimes multiple recordings of themselves in different characters. That I found that enthralling. The execution on that, and the timing, and everything was really remarkable.
Well, it helps to have a surname starting with S, doesn't it? If you want to get an Olivier for a solo show, you got to have all the S's. But speaking of revivals,
maybe Sylvester Stallone will be in the next one.
There we go.
Yeah.
So on to revivals, because Guys and Dolls, Sunset Boulevard, massive revivals this year, musical revivals. Really imaginative reinventions, but almost polar opposites, as we touched on earlier. Like, so much is happening in each, but Sunset was very muted, and Guys and Dolls was the neon lights, essentially. But what I loved about it was I was aware of both those musicals, but me personally, I'm much more into my modern musicals. So as an audience member this year, it's crazy to me that they're the ones that I'm excited about, because I'm like, oh, those scores are like, my mum listened to those scores. They're the musicals that I grew up with, but I'm not really into myself. But they're really bringing in new audiences, like we said, Dear England, not the theatre goers, but I'm sure people went to see Nicole Scherzinger because it was Nicole Scherzinger, but now they might have a complete new perspective of what a musical could be. Same with Guys and Dolls, people could Google what's going to do in London, and they hear it's an immersive experience, and they might take along their kid to that. And I think that's really amazing, that the two differences in the revivals. But then Groundhog Day being in there was interesting. It's like Andy Cole reprised his Olivier winning role in the show that, from my understanding, hasn't changed all that much. But it was very, very loved. But I haven't seen the most recent one, so I can't say how much is different. I don't know about you two.
I think there was a new choreographer, and they got rid of the revolve and then tightened up some of the songs, I think. Yeah, because the word on the street was the revolve misbehaved a lot during the original run. So they're like, get rid of it so that our lives are easier.
So history could repeat itself there in Groundhog Day.
Ooh, there you go. Tan's got the puns.
There we go. And could take home another. So that was interesting for me.
I feel like it's going to be a 2-horse race between Guys and Dolls and Sunset either way. So
isn't that interesting?
Like they're just there just to be like, hey, yeah, we're here too. We're in the West End, or like we were on, but like really fine, one of those two with it.
I mean, as far as revivals go, there's something to be said for it. It's titles that people know. But look what we've done with it. These bold reimaginings that get it in. It's almost like an advantage of the new musicals, to fight for a new audience. Like, people know Cabaret, they know Sunset Boulevard, but then the word of mouth, but have you seen this version of it?
Familiar yet different.
Yeah.
Right, I think on that excellent revival-shaped bombshell, we should wrap up for this one. I think anyone watching on YouTube should stay tuned for our predictions for the winners, where we go out on a limb to decide what we think is going to be picking up the top prizes on the 14th. But in the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe, because that's going to help us exponentially in terms of keeping this content coming and doing extra lovely videos and seeing each other's faces. Because otherwise we just sit in the dark and think about the world. So yes, thank you so much.